So after a very sharp rise of yesterday, what we have seen, day before yesterday, what we have seen on the first Monday was a very tepid week, tepid start, and most of the indices are from flat to negative. Okay, Dow Jones has fallen by more than 100 points, then S&P is completely flat, and a slight positive close for Nasdaq. So as I've been saying that although there has been a big bounce back, but whether it will sustain or not, that's a very big question, and that seems like it is true. So you need to be very precise about the movement, and you need not to go beyond the particular range, because things are not looking very well defined, and we are in a big trend or something like that. But instead of that, the one good thing that has happened is a range breakout. So this is the chart of Dow Jones, and you can clearly see, even though it has fallen, Dow Jones has fallen very big from the intraday high, but there is a range breakout that has happened. And what we need to make sure is Dow Jones should hold, or I would say rather must hold, 33,454, which is your support, and 33,390, which is your stop loss. This was your resistance level, and because the breakout has happened, now these two key levels are going to be the most important one if Dow Jones has to go higher. So below 33,390, the downside for 32,850-860 will open up again. So make sure that you are not going below 33,390. And right now on the upside we have 33,940-950, which was the Monday's intraday high. That's it. Okay, because the move was very narrow, so we don't want to go beyond a certain range. So for today's session, it would be 33,390 and 33,450-460 on the downside, simultaneously 33,940-950 on the upside. Now talking about the Nasdaq, it has performed relatively well. If you're talking about yesterday's performance, because Dow Jones was was negatively closed, and then we have seen S&P 500 was completely flat. So relatively it's a good move, but what we can see in Dow Jones is actually a range breakout, but when you're talking about Nasdaq, it is still suffering in between a range. So the range that we are looking here, as far as Nasdaq is concerned, as you can see, it is trading in between a range right now. So what do we have here? The way it has moved, it has tested the highs of or previous resistance of 10,764, but unable to sustain, and it is now moving towards the range which is in between 10,500 and 10,520. So what we are looking here is a downside of 10,500, but the caveat that if Nasdaq falls below 10,615, then the move towards 10,500 and 10,520 will be possible. And on the upside, we have 10,760, 770, and right now the zone which is in between 10,610 and 10,620 will definitely become the near term support. Okay, so this is a range bound move. Now talking about S&P 500, which is completely flat because one is positive and one is negative, so the result will be flat. But in S&P 500 also, this is a range breakout. Okay, now the big question is whether it will sustain in today's session or not. That's going to be a very big question, but whatever has happened is indicating a range breakout for us. And what we need to make sure in today's session is your previous resistance, which now turns into your support and stop loss. So indices or the price must hold at or above these levels. Okay, it's very important. So for on the downside, you have 3,890 as your support, immediate support, and 3,870, which is your stop loss on the downside. Simultaneously on the upside, we have 3,951. So technically, A range breakout has happened in Dow Jones and S&P 500, and a sharp move in Nasdaq, but the question is whether it will sustain or not, and more than that, whether it should hold its support and stop loss. I'm talking about all the major indices. So this is the end of the video. Thanks for watching.